Hello world, welcome back to the Razor RC, and there it is, the brand new Traxxas Sledge. Just came out today, March 31st, 2022, and I think it's really like the first brand new RC basher in a long time from Traxxas. I mean, they had the Traxxas Max V2, really much just same as the V1, longer arms, different chassis. They had the Haas, which again, pretty much based on the Stampede, different chassis, but you know, the rest of the vehicle pretty much all Stampede based. They updated their two-wheel drive vehicles, some of their brushed 4x4 cars, but you know, they really haven't done much in a while, and this kind of came out of nowhere. I don't think anybody saw this coming. I certainly didn't. Maybe if you're an industry insider, you might have seen this coming, but I don't think anyone expected anything like this. And we're going to talk about this car. Is it a copy? Is it really just an Arrma Kraton? Why did they come out with this vehicle? All that is what can be stuff I'm giving my opinion on. But yeah, let's look at this vehicle. First off, 1/8 scale. Finally, it says 1/8 scale. 6S capable, 70 miles per hour plus, four-wheel drive, and the big one, all aluminum, fully formed chassis there, 3.2 millimeters. And let's look, not a whole lot else on the box, some stuff here on the bottom. The VXL 6S system, I think it's the same as the eRevo 2.0. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Large battery tray, we will see. Engineered for 6S power, torque bias, center drive, which really just means standard differential. Cliffless body mounting, which I have played with at the store. It does seem pretty cool. Aluminum shocks, which I think are max based, if not exactly the same. And yeah, let's take a look inside the box. I won't bore you with taking and pulling it out. And there she is. As you can tell, I got the orange and black one. Doesn't come in a few different colors. Blue, red, and green. Orange I thought was the most interesting, and I haven't had like this color scheme in a while, so looks pretty cool. It's much brighter. It's pretty much a fluorescent orange, not just regular orange. It's like bright orange. Looks really nice. Actually, one of the best styled bodies from Traxxas in a really long time. I gotta admit, I'm not a fan of the Max styling or the Haas styling or pretty much any other color schemes. The Max V2s actually look pretty good in red and blue. But yeah, this one actually, I think they did a really great job. Also comes with the TQI radio, just like every other Traxxas. Decent radio, does have multi-model memory, so if you got a bunch of Traxxas, you can just bind them all up to single radio. That's one of the really nice features. Also does provision for the Traxxas Lake, which is like 35 bucks. Unlocks a lot of the features, allows you to use your phone as a display to make adjustments. Definitely worth it. If you're a fan of Traxxas radios, I would definitely get the Traxxas Link and just use one radio for all your cars. But here it is, Traxxas Sledge. Sledgehammer tires. I don't know what sledge means. I tried to look it up. It doesn't seem like a real word to me. I know what a sledgehammer is. I know what a hammer is, but I don't think sledge is a real word. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, the composite wing. They have a new body system, so it is different. It does kind of unclip from the inside, if I can do this, and then slide forward a bit. So here's what it looks like underneath. Massively braced underneath. This has got to be the most bracing on any RC car I've ever seen. And it's relatively flat, a pretty low slung looking body, but still looks like a pickup truck. Really nice front end. I think this is actually the best styling from Traxxas in a really long time. So that is a nice improvement. The buggy, or I'm sorry, the truggy, it's all the same underneath on every color. A lot of the Traxxas vehicles, they have different colored shocks to match the body, but I'm glad they just went plain blue, sort of the traditional Traxxas color. And you know, that way you don't have to worry about painting your body to match the vehicle. Two connectors, as you can see here. Where are these Villanine connectors? I forgot what they're called. Can't remember off the top of my head. VXL 6S. Obviously aluminum, like tower-to-tower T-brace. This is unusual. It is a true tower-to-tower brace. There's nothing in the middle to connect to, but should add some durability to these massive body mounts. Pretty unusual. First time I saw this without the body on, I was like, what is going on with this thing? Like I mentioned, sledgehammer tires. Pretty firm overall, pretty firm foams. They should be okay. I don't find the sledgehammer tires to be awesome in dirt, but they're kind of meant to be, I guess, still an all-around vehicle that you can run on street, on dirt, on concrete. All your possible locations and terrains. So yeah, let's kind of take a look at this thing a little more closely. Layout is rather interesting. Motor up front, ESC in the middle, center differential right there with kind of this cage around it. So a little cover for your spur gear so your wires don't get torn up. Receiver box in the back. Very unusual layout. Not many vehicles have the motor all the way up front. So one thing people are saying is that this is a copy of an Arrma Kraton, which, okay, I'll give my 2 cents on this. First off, Traxxas does sue a lot of people. I do think they go overboard with the lawyering, with the lawsuits, with the threat of lawsuits. Not very common in the RC industry, and Traxxas certainly leads the pack in lawsuits. Second thing, every RC truggy looks exactly like this. Every RC truggy with an aluminum chassis has this layout. I mean, that's just the way it is. Tower brace, yeah, a lot of vehicles have it. The Team Corrali, the Arrma. I'm sure there are other vehicles with the tower brace. That's nothing unusual. But all this stuff, Traxxas went in this direction. So this is the first aluminum chassis Traxxas Basher electric I can think of. I don't know if they've ever made an electric aluminum chassis Basher in the past. I certainly can't remember anything. Pretty much their signature has been to use plastic chassis for a really long time. The Max, X-Max, E-Revo 2.0, everything has had a plastic chassis. They went aluminum on this. Why do I think they did that? Well, in my opinion, they've been getting their lunch eaten by Arrma, Team Corrali, whoever you want to talk about, in the 6S 1/8 scale space. Not only are those other vehicles doing really well, those companies doing really well, but they do provide an aluminum chassis with an upgrade path. So certainly companies like M2C or whoever are making aluminum, you know, like 7075 chassis and stuff like that, which are upgrades, and the traditional Traxxas layout doesn't really lend itself to upgrades very much. So I think what they did was they looked at the market and they're like, what do we think the customers want? Okay, they want extreme durability. They want to be launch this thing like 100 feet high. They want to jump it, you know, run it at 80 miles per hour over a house. I don't know. So we're going to give them what we think they want. So I think that's what the purpose of this vehicle is. Now it is $800, which is like way more than everybody else. I think the Arrma is $600. I think the Team Corrali is like $570 at the time of this video. And this is $800. That is crazy high, $200 to $230 more than the competition. Is it better? Well, it is made in Taiwan, I will say that. Here's the battery tray. I'm really curious to see if any of my normal batteries fit in this thing, because yeah, it is somewhat limited. It's certainly designed for Traxxas batteries, so we'll see. Now, there are some nice things on this. They actually have a brand new servo, the 2275 Metal Gear servo. I think a pretty good amount of torque. I don't think it's super fast, but finally they have an upgrade. Big reason why vehicles like the E-Revo 2.0 have 2 servos, because they never really had a true Metal Gear 10 scale or 8 scale size servo. So nice to see that they came up with that. They did up their game. They do have an adjustable servo saver, super nice. They do have plastic links all around, turnbuckles, steering links, not a big deal to me. That is okay. Aluminum shocks, although they do have plastic shock caps. Now, one interesting thing, this vehicle has a lot of adjustments that you would expect on a sort of race spec vehicle. 2 mounting locations on the bottom. I believe 3 up top for the shocks, maybe just 2. Nice little plastic guard up top for the shock tower. Aluminum shock towers, they look like they're, I don't know, 4 or 5 millimeters thick. They don't look like they're machined 60, 61 or anything like that. They look like they're cast pieces to me. Really nice aluminum chassis brace here, tower, that's really nice. Standard like bell cranks. Now the layout looks like a normal truggy, so that's cool to see. A lot of vehicles like the Max have kind of a weird offset steering rack where your throw isn't quite right, left and right. They do have nice little rubber boots around the drive shafts here on the center. I think on the corners though they don't. Yep, they don't have boots there, but they do have full CVAs, I think all the way around as well. Yeah, oh no, rear has dog bones, fronts are CVAs. So dog bones provide a little more traction, CVAs provide a little more free spinning. Motor mount, yes, quite unusual. It's got the cage rather than just a motor plate that the motor is bolted to. I don't know if that's going to hold in place. Some people, I guess, have said that it can move around, so we shall see. Not really sure. The wing. A lot of people say this looks like a Kraton wing. I mean, every wing looks pretty much the same to me, so I don't know what the heck they're talking about. I mean, I have a ton of 10 scale wings that look like this, a bunch of 8 scale wings that look like this. I don't think it's a copy of anything, but people want to say what they want to think, or they want to think what they have already reached a conclusion about, and so they're just gonna claim whatever they want, which is fine. I mean, that is their prerogative. Multiple camber link adjustments here on the rear. You can mount it in a bunch of locations. So like I said, I think this is the most race spec Traxxas in a really long time. Actually, a lot of people don't realize this, but the Traxxas Sledge 4x4, the LCG version, which they have an Ultimate, they used to have a Platinum. Again, it was actually a full-on race vehicle. It was meant for racing because the Slash took off, got super popular, and so when they redesigned the 4x4 or designed it, they made it pretty much a race truck. This looks to me like, I mean, obviously it's not a full-on race truck, but it is much more race-oriented than your typical Traxxas vehicles like the Max or the X-Max. A couple different mounting locations on the Ackerman bar. Aluminum, looks like it's maybe 2.5, 3 millimeters, maybe 2 millimeters. Not super thick. Looks pretty nice though. Hopefully that does not bend. With the servo saver, should be okay. With the plastic links, probably okay. I'm sure they make aluminum, or I'm sorry, adjustable turnbuckles as an option soon, if not already. What else is there to say? Metal servo horn. Looks pretty good. Center differential looks fairly easy to access. Looks like maybe 2 bolts to remove this bar and maybe like 4 to remove the center differential. I believe dog bones down the middle for the center differential. So tunability, sealed differentials, of course. Minimal bumpers front rear, which is fine with me. I know a lot of people like to have these giant bumpers that stick out like 6 inches. I kind of like the no bumper thingy. I mean, that looks like a buggy or proper race trucky to me. You know, the downside is having a huge bumper that sticks out is that when you land it like this, that bumper digs in the ground and then basically ends up being like a snowplow and not really allowing you to save a lot of jumps. Aluminum chassis looks super nice. I'm sure its blue anodized will get scratched pretty easily, but it's got kind of a matte finish. And here's all your hex hardware underneath. Skid plates front and rear, a little bit of pretty minimal kick up in the front. I mean, I'm talking like 5-8 degrees in the front, so rather unusual. Limited amount of kick up in the front. Maybe with the diff cases you get a little more caster there. Not easy to tell. Mud guards in the rear, which is fine. They look like they might hit the upper wings, but I don't think that's going to be a big deal. Steel drive shafts all the way around. Captured shock cups on the bottom, just like the Max. I don't know if the shocks are exactly the same front and rear. They look longer in the rear. Yes, thank you, Traxxas. So one of my big complaints about the Max is that the shocks are exact same size, front and rear. Yeah, I know they had different pistons and different springs, but the shocks were exact same bodies, exact same shafts, exact same everything. These look longer in the rear like a proper truck, so hopefully they listened to me on that. I don't think anyone else in the world ever complained about that, but I did, and it looks like, you know. So if looking at this from, you know, the first time, I would say that it looks like a proper truggy. It really does. We'll have to see if the durability holds up. You know, all the latest Traxxas stuff has been very durable. They've also been plastic chassis, so I don't know if this aluminum chassis will hold up, but it is a very thick chassis, 3.2 millimeters. The new rival MT8 is 4 millimeters, so this is not class leading in that space, but certainly on the thicker side and should be more durable than your typical RTR truggy. So anyways, that's it. We're going to run this thing, of course. Oh, if you're curious, here's all the stuff comes with: a couple Allen wrenches, a little plug for if you're only running one pack, and then the long extended wheel wrench, which you will need because these are very deep hexes on these wheels. These look like they're compatible with the eRevo 2.0 and the Max. Looks like similar offsets, so yeah, if you want to run these on your other vehicles, I'm sure it would fit. Anyways, that's it. Hopefully that helped you out. Don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe, add notifications buttons. Look for more videos soon, and thanks for watching.